Hey guys, Mina here. This is Markwood Homestead, and if you're new, I'm really glad that you're here, and if you're not, then welcome back. I'm not sure how much of the lawnmower you'll be able to hear in the background. I have to get this done today, and I wanted to bring you guys along because I am pretty late. Not pretty late. I feel like I'm about a week late planting tomatoes, which they'll catch up, but I wanted to show you guys. The ones that I actually have potted up, I potted up to sell, and the ones that I'm actually planting in my garden, I didn't pot up, and they're smaller and they don't look as good because I didn't take the time to pot them up. Just because I had a lot going on. But you can see these are big, and the ones that I've put in, the ones that I haven't potted up are not at all. That's okay, because sometimes whenever they're bigger, they go through more transplant shock. So hopefully that won't happen to these as bad. Alrighty, fast forward a day or so because the mower was just too loud. But I wanted to tell you guys how I'm doing this. I broad forked my rows. I did till. I didn't want to till this. I had planned for this to be a no-till garden. But the grass just took over way too fast. I usually do skinnier rows and bigger walkways because I do usually till through the paths, but I'm going to mulch the paths because I have a ton of spent hay from the goats, and that's what I'm going to do this year. And I'm going to try to mulch the rows too. But this was just a humongous pile like that right there of goat bedding that was just full of goat poo and pee that had composted over the last couple of years, and I scraped it all over the ground and dug out this garden. Yeah, so up here I've got radishes in these two beds, and I'm getting ready to pull those out in the next week and probably ferment some and keep some in cold storage, see how long they last. I knew that these weren't going to stay in very long. It's going to get hot. They're going to bolt. They're going to get pithy and hot. Like, they will get spicy, way spicier with the heat of the day too. So my beds are as wide as my broad fork, and I've got a couple marigolds planted interspersed in between here. I have my basil garden out front in my raised bed, and once that starts going, I'm going to take cuttings off of that because basil roots so well, and I'm going to put basil in between some of these plants. I'm doing these, I want to say 2 feet apart, but I'm walking with my feet, and I wear a size 7 women's shoe, and I know that that's not exactly 2 feet, but I tried to, get about 2 feet apart. I'd say it's closer to 18 inches in some spots, but I'm going to do heavy pruning and be staking these because they are indeterminate, and that just means that they're going to keep growing until the frost hits. So I will be staking these. This is my tomato and pepper bed. I do have another garden over on my mom's property over there. We are going to plant all of the rest of the tomatoes over there, but every single one of these tomatoes in this garden are different. They are all different. All the peppers are going to be different, and this is just going to be like my comparison garden. I'm going to see how different they all grow. I'm going to save seeds, do the little mesh baggies. I'll do peppers on the back 2 rows, and this is just going to be my baby because I know that I need really good soil to grow good tomatoes and good peppers, and this right here is going to be some of the best stuff I've ever grown in because of all the composted manure that and hay and wood chips and all the stuff that I had in here. This is going to be great. I went through, I broad forked the rows, I measured out with my feet and dug holes, and now I'm just planting them along, pulling the bottom leaves off, planting them pretty deep, and yeah, then I water them. Easy peasy. These really needed to come out of the pots that they were in. They were losing nutrition. You can see how yellow and pale the leaves were getting because I didn't up pot. Here's one that I up potted, and it looks beautiful and big and green, and you can see the difference. Small and turning yellow, so it's gonna have to play catch up with the rest, but I plant them pretty deep, and I'll pull these bottom leaves off and then just cover it up. And what I've been doing is, once I get it, I've been kind of healing it up around the tomato, and then kind of making a ditch right here in front of it, and that way when it rains or when I water it, the water catches here around the tomato plant. Yeah, that's all there is to it. Give it a drink of water and you're done. So I was able to get all of the tomato varieties planted in this little garden behind me. And I think altogether I had about 40 different varieties. All of them are different. I've had them in the ground for a couple of days, and I will say these little colorful tags, I'm missing a couple now, and the only thing that I can think of is maybe a crow has carried them off thinking that they're colorful and shiny and it wanted to steal them. So piece of advice, if you want to do something like this and you're trying to keep track of what's what, don't just rely on your little tags. Go ahead and write it down somewhere, put it in the notes on your phone or on your computer in a notepad or something. I also today went ahead and planted some root veggies in between the tomato plants. I also did some cooler weather veggies like lettuce and kale, just as an experiment, because if I don't and I don't mulch, then weeds are going to take over. But if I plant something that is going to stay kind of short and benefit from the shade of the tomatoes, I won't have to worry about weeds. The plants that will be growing in between the tomatoes will have an actual purpose. So you can stick around for the next couple months to see if they even do anything. We're expecting a big rain. Actually, I see it coming now, way over there. So everything's gonna get watered in really well, and maybe in a few days we'll have some sprouts. I'll keep you guys updated, and thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.